Hello everybody, welcome to the first annual LBTV ranking of the TV shows I've watched this year. This year's 2022. I've watched 29 new seasons of television. So either shows, returning shows, or completely new shows that have come out this year. I've watched 29 of them. There is a couple I have kind of want to see, but I'm in the middle of watching. So, like, The Crown, it just isn't doing it for me this season. The other seasons were great, so I haven't really got to it. And Wednesday is probably the other big one that I haven't watched yet at the time of this recording. I don't think there's anything else coming out before the end of the year, so that's why I'd get this out and done with. But yeah, there are going to be mini reviews. There's 29 of them, so maybe for the first 20, I'll do shorter reviews, and then as we get to the top 10, I'll do longer, more in-depth, maybe not too in-depth, because I don't want this video to go on forever. But yeah, they'll, hopefully this is annual, but we'll get right into it at number 29. Alright, number 29, we have High School Musical, the series, Season 3. And to be honest, I don't know why I watch the show anymore. I'm a big fan of the original High School Musical movie series of the trilogy. Heard they come back with the show, thought I'd watch it, watched the first season, thought it was alright. Second season, third, this show. Olivia Rodrigo was there, she was the star. And now she's gone, what's the point of it? They have it's just weird, like they have these weird cliffhangers at the end of each episode, like, oh, Nene and Ricky were caught in the bushes, what's gonna happen? And then it starts the next episode and literally, like, it wasn't a consequence, nothing even happened, and the story, it didn't even matter. It's just not that good. Hopefully next season, they're going to bring back, apparently it's going to be filmed, they're filming number 4 or something that's, like, at the school, so hopefully some of the OG cast will come back, and it will be a bit better, but we'll see. But for the moment, this season is in dead last. Number 28, we have The Boys Diabolical, and there's not really too much to say about it. I'm not saying it was bad, but it was just nothing. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be this big thing, but nothing insane happened. It was like a couple cool shorts that were alright. I would say maybe the last one was the best one. It was like, it was kind of cool. What they did was like an anime style, but the rest were just, filler, I guess. They just made this short, and it was cool and all, but yeah, it wasn't that good, and that's why it's number 28. Number 27, we have The Book of Boba Fett. Now, when they announced they were making a Boba Fett show, I was like, okay, he's alright. He's not that cool. He's cool, but he's not that cool. Everyone loves him when he was silent and didn't really talk and was cool. But now he's talking, and he's a mob boss, a crime boss that doesn't really do any crime, and this show, I don't know. The best episodes were without him, which says a lot about it. Mandalorian parts were cool, but they should have been in their own episodes. And then there was obviously the weird, like, everyone remembers that weird Power Rangers car chase that did. I don't know, it was just a mess. The last episode was good, and the Mandalorian, like I said, the Mandalorian episodes were good. The last episode was alright, but definitely a disappointment, especially coming from the Mandalorian. Number 26, we have The Righteous Gemstones, which is actually a really funny show. The first season was really good. Great show. Danny McBride, you got John Goodman. Walton Goggins is really good. I watched it earlier this year and I don't remember much of it. That's why it's this low. I think it's really funny, and it's probably better than some of the shows that it comes after. It's just low because it didn't do anything that good. Otherwise, I'd remember it. But I can't wait for season 3. I do really like this show. Number 25, we have Ozark season 4, which some people compare it to Breaking Bad. Get real. This show is an absolute snooze fest. Season 1, 2, and 3 were tolerable. This season was dog shit, to be honest. I thought it was so boring and like slow, and people compare. There's other shows on this list that people say are slow, like this that are coming up later. But this show is slow. I feel like nothing happens every episode. Every episode, I watched the whole season when it came out, pretty much in like one sitting, and it was just so tiring, and nothing happens. Nothing exciting happens, maybe in the last 5 minutes. Each character is so boring and unlikable. Wendy is so unlikable. The kids, Marty, you go him, yeah. All of them. The only saving grace of the show is Ruth. She is good, and she's good in every season, and she's won the Emmy, every year. She stole the Emmy from Ray Seahorn, which we'll get into later. But yeah, I just don't think this show is as good as it once was, which wasn't that good to begin with, to be honest. Here at number 24, we have Pam and Tommy, which was this mini-series. I can't even remember. I think it was 8 episodes. Should have looked it up. I think it's 8 episodes. Tells the story, Pam and Tommy, classic relationship that ended. It didn't last long. And you know what? The show shouldn't have lasted that long. It should not have been that long. It should have been condensed into a movie. I get it was like, trying to flesh out, make you sympathize with Pam, because she was kind of seen as like, at the time, was like the villain. Not a villain, but she was like, oh, you did this, and she was really upset about it, which I get. I like that aspect of it, but yeah, it should have just been a movie. It was alright. Seth Rogen, he was good in it. He was advertising it. He was in it a little bit. He is main, but wasn't in it much as them. They were really good, but other than that, yeah, it was just too long. I think it should have been a movie or short, maybe like 3 episodes or something. So here at number 23, we have Dexter New Blood, which, as you can see by the poster, it actually started November 7th in 2021. I think the last episode was very early this year. It might have been the first or second week of January. But I watched all of Dexter in anticipation for this. So I watched all of Dexter, the original series, then went straight into New Blood. And the original show, it was good for maybe 2 seasons, and then it just went horrible. This was just, they needed... Stop with the Dexter stuff. Like, first episode, I thought was really good, actually. But it just, they do not know what they're doing over there. It's a dead franchise. They should kill it. They should just stop making Dexter stuff, and I hear they're continuing it. If they do, I'm not going to watch any more Dexter stuff, but it was just like, the story it was just the same as it always is, and every Dexter season is the same story. Yeah, it's just... Don't watch it. If you want to watch Dexter, you can watch season 4. It's the best one. All the others are the same. Yeah, that's my feelings on Dexter New. Over at number 22, we have the first MCU show on this list. I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, it's the first one. We have Moon Knight, which is at the bottom of my list because I didn't like it, I guess. I couldn't get past Oscar Isaac's bad accent, for starters. I thought Ethan Hawke was good in it, but the character wasn't that good. It was a boring villain. I do like the idea of Moon Knight and how he has different identities, and Moon Knight, kind of takes over. That's a really fun idea. I like that. Maybe not a fun idea, but a good idea. I just don't think this story was that interesting. I wasn't engaged at all. I was like, oftentimes just on my phone. That's me. I know this show was really popular, but me, I don't know. Number 21, we have Ms. Marvel, which I know a lot of the fans don't like it. I like the kind of teen kind of aspect they put it on. It was really good, like a teen comedy kind of thing, the first couple episodes. But then we travelled abroad, and it did lose me. I thought the villain, maybe the worst villain, she was not interesting. I get that she was like, I get the whole motive and stuff, but it just wasn't engaging, and towards the end it wasn't that engaging, and it was corny. There were some cheesy parts. The CGI isn't that good, but well, it was alright for the most part. That's why it's a bit higher than some of these other shows, a bit higher than Moon Knight. It did engage me for some of it at least. I am excited to see her in the Marvels, so these other characters are up in the air, whether, obviously they'll do it, but we don't know when they'll come back. But Kamala Khan is going to be in the Marvels next year. She's a good addition to the team. Can't wait to see her in that movie, to be honest. Here at number 20, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, the second Star Wars show on this list of the 3 that were this year. I think this show was alright. People say it's the best piece of Star Wars. A lot of people say, that they love it because a lot of people love the prequels. I think it was alright. The last two episodes people say it's the best ever Star Wars thing ever. I think they were good. They were good. The rest of it wasn't that good. I think a lot of shows people say, oh, it's not needed. This show was not needed. Obviously, like, it opened up, Anakin and Obi-Wan's kind of relationship a bit, but it was implied that stuff was implied and didn't need to be shown, So I think it was not needed there. I think that I'm just looking at my notes. There was that. I know this is one part, but the editing in that one scene, everyone will know if you've seen it. There's like a scene where he's like going in and out between things, and there's one edit that makes it look like it's like a reverse shot. If you know it, if you've seen it, you'll know it. But it's the weirdest piece of editing, and it confused me. And there are a couple of shots in that, but there was in that show, but that was just the one that I remembered. So technically, I guess it's a little not good on that behalf, but the story it just didn't grab me. Now, number 19, we have a show that is actually hated a lot, very much so. This show is hated a lot. She-Hulk, number 19. I thought it was funny. I did laugh in most episodes. There was it was a little bit slow, and I know people didn't like, She-Hulk twerking with Megan Thee Stallion. A lot of people didn't like the episodic nature, the kind of like serial, like the old style TV show from one case to the next. I liked it. It was entertaining. I thought it was funny. I will say the last episode was a bit on the nose. I think that what they were trying to do with saying that the fans ruin the show and stuff and all that, and we need to make our finale great and stuff. I think that was a cop-out for an actual finale. I did like it, but I think it was a cop-out. What else have I got here? The CGI isn't the best. After a while, I didn't really care. I was like, yeah, she looks fine. But in a nutshell, I think the show is actually good and definitely overhated. Number 18, we have The Bear, which was really good, actually. It was a little bit of insight to the hospitality world. It was in a kitchen. Oh, jeez, I think Chicago. It was set in Chicago. It was like a sandwich shop that was run by his brother, and now he has to take over, which is explained in the show later on. But he's like a chef, properly trained, high up chef. That has to come back and run his brother's restaurant, and it's really good. I've worked in hospitality for a little bit, and it's stressful, and this show definitely shows that it's stressful, especially that one-shot episode, which is really good, maybe the best episode of the year, of any show, to show. It was just so stressful, and the tension was high, all the characters talking over each other, yelling at each other. It's what it's like, and I think they really perfectly captured the type of people that work in hospitality and what they're like. Jeremy Allen White, who played Kami, the main guy on the poster, where's he there? That guy, really good. He was really good. I can definitely see him becoming a star within even films. I think he's a very good actor. But yeah, this show was really good. I was a little bit distracted. I don't know. It did lose me a little bit towards the start, but overall, really good show. Number 17, we have Hacks, season 2 of Hacks, which was really, really funny. This show is really funny. It's about a comedian that's what's a good example? I guess kind of like Ellen, but not really. But she was a real famous comedian, and she's just trying to remain relevant, She's got a writer. Oh, the original concept is, I think, that she gets cancelled for a bit and she has to hire this writer, which is the other character, Ava, that you see behind her, played by Hannah Einbender. Really good chemistry between the two. I really like it. It's just a great comedy show, and it's one of those Emmy bait shows. Jean Smart, I think, won twice, and it's only been two seasons. But she's really good. She's had a resurgence lately in these shows. She was in Fargo, Legion. What else was she in? she was in Watchmen, and she's had a big resurgence lately. She's very good. So I think this show deserves all the hype, and that's why it's this high, number 17. Number 16, we have Abbott Elementary, which season 2 is still airing now. Season 1 finished airing earlier this year, I think. But this show proves that network comedies can still be, can come out within this streaming era. Most of these shows are streaming shows. This actually might be the only one. Well, yeah, it's one of 2 shows that is a network streaming show. That isn't a streaming show, and those shows were thought to be dead. But this show is really popular, and for good reason. It's Quinta Brunson. She's a great writer. All the characters are good, but I think Barbara, the older kind of teacher, is the best. She is exactly like an old veteran teacher. She won the Emmy this year for Best Supporting Actress for good reason. She's the best. She's very funny in the show. And if anyone's been to a school, which everyone has gone to school, you'll relate to this show, and I think that's why it's so good and so popular. You can definitely see there'll be seasons and seasons ahead. There'll be many seasons of this show. And it will go on forever. My only, I guess, gripe with it is the Greg and Janine relationship. It's too similar to Pam and Jim from The Office. But obviously, as a network show, they got to have some kind of romantic relationship, and that's the easiest to kind of write, I guess. But other than that, all the jokes are funny. Every character's funny. Every moment is funny. It's a really good show. You should definitely watch this show. Number 15, I have The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel Season 4. This show I started watching a couple years ago, and Prime has great shows. People sleep on Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime and Apple TV are both slept on. They've got amazing shows, both of them do. This is a really funny comedy. It was popular, it's definitely, stooped off in years. She won, I think, the Emmy for lead actress twice. Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Miss Maisel in the middle there in the blue dress. But all the supporting cast are so funny. It's quick. Amy Sherman Palladino wrote this show, who wrote Gilmore Girls. She's known for quick, snarky, scenes. I think, most shows, she doubles or triples the amount of words the characters say. It's just quick. You gotta, be watching and listening. It's like tennis, back and forth, conversational tennis. It's really funny, really good. I think there's one more season left, which I think is good, because this show might be overstaying its welcome. It's still really funny, but I think Midge, she's definitely come a bit more annoying over the seasons. All the other characters are good though. My favorite is Lenny Bruce. If you've ever seen the show, he's this comedian in real life who he was in real life, who mentors Midge in the show. And every time he pops up, I cheer. He is so good, so funny. The guy that plays him, Luke Kirby, I think his name was. He's so funny. He's really good, really, really good. And I know Lenny Bruce dies in real life, in the era that they're in now. So next season he'll probably die, which will be a good kind of story thing for Midge, but sad for me because I think he's great. But yeah, all these shows pretty much from now on, I recommend. I think they're all good. I don't have too many negative things to say about them, so from now on, top 15, the reviews are going to be a bit longer. I'm looking now, it's been about 2 minutes in this one. I don't want to be too long, but this show's good. Go watch it. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Prime. Number 14, we have Peacemaker, which is a spin-off from the Suicide Squad James Gunn directed last year. They came out in August last year. John Cena's Peacemaker was a great character in that, and I was like, when I heard they were making the show, I was like, he was funny, but can they make a whole show about him? Yeah, they can. He's really good. John Cena is, I think, what The Rock wants to be, and Dave Bautista is what they both want to be. They both want to be Dave Bautista, but I think John Cena is much funnier than The Rock and a much better action star. He's really good in this show. Emotional backstory on this douchebag you didn't think you could like. I thought the story was pretty intriguing as well. Like I said, I'm not trying to give too much away, so I'm being pretty vague, but all the side characters were really good too. The intro, watch the theme song. It's so funny. Like, it's got this cool, funny dance with it. But now, James Gunn's the head of DC. So if we're getting more movies kind of like this and TV shows like this, then I'm all for it. James Gunn is pretty good. So I think DC's hopefully in safe hands. But yeah, go watch Peacemaker. It's a great show. Great superhero show. Number 13, we have The After Party on Apple TV Plus, which was a murder mystery that each episode was in a different genre. So one episode was like an action, one was a romantic comedy, one was an animation, one was horror, which is, a lot of shows have done that in like the span of a 20-minute episode. Community's done it. Always Sunny in Philadelphia's done it. Many shows have done it. I'm just trying to think. Whereas each different perspective is a different style. And it works for an episode. I was like, will it work for a show? And yeah, it does. Maybe by the end, it gets a bit tiring because there's 8 episodes. But overall, it was pretty entertaining. Everyone was good. Ben Schwartz, Sam Richardson, he's really funny. If you watch Veep, he's really funny. All the supporting characters. Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish is in it. She's very funny. Overall, yeah, really good show. I'm not sure if they're going to make a season 2, but they can definitely, anthologize it, make more and more seasons. Each episode, each season, different mystery. But yeah, definitely watch this one. It's pretty funny. Good stuff. Number 12 on my list, we have the highest rated Star Wars show on my list, Andor. Now, after the other 2 shows, I was like, come on, an Andor show, which he was an alright character in Rogue One. Will this be a good show? And yes, it is good. Spy, espionage, thriller type show. Andor's trying to get the rebellion. The start of the rebellion that's what the show that's what the show shows. The start of the rebellion, and it's really intriguing, really good. There's some really good scenes. There's like a prison break scene. There's a kind of a bank heist scene, and they're really good. I will admit some of the political parts of the show, just I don't know. I get Star Wars politics, but Star Wars politics is cool and all, but sometimes it's just a little bit boring. But yeah, all in all, it was a good show. Even 12 episodes is a lot of episodes, but it was quite good throughout through all of it. I know a lot of people love this show and say it's the best Star Wars ever, which I've said for Obi-Wan, but a lot of people do love this too. I think it's great. I do agree. I think it is really good. Everyone's really good in it. There was no real cringe stuff like with the other 2 shows. It was just a real good, grounded spy thriller that just happened to be a Star Wars show too. So go check that one out. Disney Plus, good one. So here we are at number 11. Just before we go on to the top 10, we have Yellow Jackets, which was an incredible surprise. I did not expect this show. I was just like, I heard about it, and I was like, cool, I'll put it on, watch it. It was great. It was really, really, really good. It was really intriguing, kept me engaged throughout the whole show. It's a good mystery. I'll give a brief synopsis on it. It's a show about a girls' soccer team called the Yellow Jackets who get stranded. Plane crash, stranded in the forest, and then the other half of the show is set in the present day with the survivors kind of dealing with that and the repercussions of that. But as you go slowly into the show, you realize that maybe things are a bit more grim than you see, a bit more lost, kind of like. It wasn't all just a normal plane crash. Look up the Andes plane crash that happened in like the 70s. It's got definitely inspiration from that. I think the show is really good. I will say that the scene set when they are after the plane crash in the past are substantially better than the present scenes. The present scenes were good, and I think Melanie Lewinsky and who's the other one in it? My bad, I should have looked it up. But all the present day actors are good, but I just think that maybe the past was a bit more interesting. And definitely, this show has set up a couple more seasons. I don't know if they've been announced. I know season 2 is coming in January, but I don't know how many seasons it's been put on for. But it's definitely set up for maybe 4 or 5 seasons, and I'm here from all of them. I can't wait. Go watch this show. I think it's really good. I recommend it. All right, now we're on to my top 10. Number 10, Cobra Kai Season 5. Now, this show is cheesy, it's corny, it shouldn't be this high, but I love this show. I think it's really good. It's pretty funny how cheesy it can be. Sometimes it can be too cheesy and corny. I think Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence can be Johnny Lawrence isn't too bad, but Daniel LaRusso can be real cringe and real cheese. But I think that it's fine, and I think the show wants to be cheesy, and that's good. And it can be good to be cheesy sometimes. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen the original 3 movies, but I feel like I've seen them because they show flashbacks, and not so much this season, but they show flashbacks all the time, and I feel like I've watched the movies within those flashbacks. But, the best part of this show is obviously the fights. The fights are incredible. I mean, we've had the high school fight, the Old Valleys, the house fight last season. I think a lot of people watch this show, and I know a lot of people love it, but if you haven't, go check it out. Get past the cheese and just enjoy the epic action, the karate. It's fun. It's really good. Give it a watch. I love it. At number 9, we have The White Lotus Season 2, which, as the time of the recording, this show finished yesterday, and it was really good. This show, the first season was a bit of a creeper. It's crept up on me, and bang, took the world by storm. People loved it. Won heaps of Emmys this year. It's really good. Really good social commentary. It's all about, if you want to watch, it's about rich people holidaying. But it's more than that. The first season was kind of about it was all white people holidaying and the effect that it has. It was more than that, but that was the overarching and the effect that it has on it was in Hawaii, set in Hawaii. And then this season, I guess, is more about toxic masculinity. You've got the 3 characters at the bottom, and they've all got. I saw a TikTok on this. I'm not going to take credit for this idea, but they've all got their different views of how to be a man and how to treat a woman, and each view in their eyes is how you do it, but each view is wrong. It's all toxic. Yeah, it's really good stuff. Really good, topical stuff they talk about. But it's also a good story, good mystery, really good characters. That's what this show's about. And Mike White, who was on Survivor, wrote this. Whoever thought someone from Survivor could write a show this good? I guess he did, because it's very good. And it can go on forever. Each season is set in a different... Well, there's only been 2, but it's set at a resort called the White Lotus in a different part of the world. That show can go on forever. It could. It's just such a broad statement, a broad kind of idea that it could go on forever, which is a good idea. I don't think it should go on forever, but it's a good idea that he came up with. All the characters are good, like I said. Jennifer Coolidge, she's so funny. Aubrey Plaza, she's so funny. All of them are really good. But love it. Definitely watch this show. It's really good. It's on Binge, Foxer, one of those. You can watch it. It's good. Number 8, we have Only Murders in the Building, which again is another mystery show. I've watched a lot of mystery shows this year, I guess. But this one is by far it's the best. That's the best on my list. The top mystery show. It is so funny. Steve Martin, Martin Short, they are so funny. And Selena Gomez in. Who knew she could be funny? She is very funny. She's extremely funny. They all really complement each other. The show wouldn't be the same without any of them. If it was just Steve and Selena, or Steve and Marty, or Marty and Selena, it wouldn't be the same. They're all really funny, and definitely the best part of the show. That is the best part. The mystery is good, but I think that there's better mysteries in other shows, but their chemistry saves the show. It's really good. I can't underestimate how really funny they all are. They bring out something in her, and she brings out something in them. They are all very funny. Steve Martin, I've been a fan of for a long time, and he's just he wrote this show. That shows you how funny. He can write. He's 80 years old almost, and he can write a pretty topical, it's relevant show that is still popular today. That just shows how fast and quick-minded this guy is. He can write something that still is relevant today, and he's 80. It's a really good show. mystery show. Go watch it. Any other notes I've got? Selena was robbed of an Emmy. That's all I gotta say. She wasn't even nominated. She should have. They got nominated. She didn't. Stupid. That's all I have to say. Number 7, we have the best brand new idea show this year, which was Severance. There is another show later on, but it's kind of a spin-off. You'll see when I get to it. But Severance. It is, again, it's Apple TV, which I was saying before. It's slept on. Funniest shows. After Party was on Apple TV. Ted Lasso is on Apple TV. Severance is on Apple TV. And it is really good. Ben Stiller directed 6 of the episodes. He's a really good director. I think he wrote some of it too, but it's such a good idea. If you don't know what it's like, there's this operation called being severed. You be severed, and it separates your home life and your work life. So when you get to work, you don't remember anything about your home life, personal life, and then when you get home from work to your personal life, you remember nothing about work. And you think it's a good idea, and then you realize later on that maybe it's not such a good idea, and what type of people would go with this procedure and the effect that it has on them. And it's really good. Adam Scott is really funny. The person, I think Brittany something, who plays Helly R, she's a new actress found for the show. She's very good in the show. Reminds me a lot of Ray Seahorn. Patricia Arquette, who kind of plays like the villain type, she's really good. It's really not star-studded cast, but really good cast. Really good story as well. This show, again, it's set up a mystery that could be on for seasons and will probably go down as a really good show. If they stick the landing right, it could definitely be one of the best shows of recent memory, I guess. And I think that, it's a kind of almost, it's not a topical, it's just a very, relevant situation. It's topical in the fact that, like, a lot of people have jobs they don't want to go to. And it's just a question everyone's thought of, like, what about if I just went to work and I just only thought about work, and when I came home, I didn't have to think about work. Well, they made it a sci-fi, mind-bending show, and it's really good. Apple TV Plus, watch Severance. It's really good. Number 6, we have, of course this was going to show up my top 10, obviously, but we have Stranger Things Season 4. This was higher. It was number 1, I think, when it first came out. It's dropped a bit since, bit to number 6. Other shows have surpassed it, but it's still really good. Every time this show comes out, it's a pop culture revolution. Bigger than the last season every time, and I can't believe it. This season was so popular. Everywhere I went, I was reminded of the show, whether that be in the songs, obviously Running Up the Hill, TikTok, social media, even outside, people wearing Hellfire Club shirts, Rip my boy Eddie Monson, the Devil Horns, which has become, that's become a thing within itself. See, this show is just on another level of, we'll just talk about how popular it is, and it's pretty crazy how popular it is. I think it's maybe the most popular show I've been alive to see, maybe except Game of Thrones, but this show is just so popular, and for good reason. It's really good. I like I think if people had gripes with the season, I've heard that it's because of the separate storylines. I like that. I love that, jumping in between them. I think they were all really good. My favorite was probably the Hopper, Joyce, and Murray storyline. My least was maybe the California with the boys. But, this show's wrapping up. It's getting good. It's always been good. They're getting older, these kids, as well, so they've got to wrap it up soon. And they're all going on with their own careers. They're all popular in their own right, so they've got to wrap it up. But this show's good. It's good every year, and it's such like a memory. Every season I remember exactly where I was where it came out, and I know it sounds cringe, but I remember this season where I was and what was happening, and it's just such a big pop culture like moment every time this show has a new season, and it's like, I feel like just for that it's got to be on this list. But it's also helps that it's a good show. Characters good, story's always good, and the CGI, it's a bit more darker this season, was good. I liked the darkness. Probably could have been a bit scarier. It wasn't that scary, but Yeah, it's good. Next season's the final season in 2 parts again, I guess. Can't wait to see it wrap up, what's going to happen. But again, can't stress enough, love this show very much. Love Stranger Things. I'll say if you haven't watched it, watch it, but everyone's watched this show. Number 5, we have Barry Season 3. Bill Hader is incredible. He has always been funny and maybe the best on SNL in that era of SNL. And this show has come out and he's incredible. This show, whoever thought you could make a funny show about a hitman? But it's really good. This show, this season was still funny, but way more dramatic and way more dark, I thought. It went into how crazy Barry really is, and I loved it. I thought it was really good. And then we have Noho Hank, who is maybe the funniest side character in any show. Every time he's on, he is so funny. But this season, he had a lot more dramatic scenes and a lot more dramatic story arc. Really good stuff. Everyone's good. Henry Winkler, Sarah Goldberg, I think that's her name, who plays Sally. I hope it is. The whole cast is really good. But Bill Hader, he is unbelievable. Unbelievable. He is so funny and so dramatic and so scary, and so he can be so emotional at times. Such a good director, such a good writer. He's gonna be. I mean, he already is good, like big, but he's gonna go down as one of the best, I think, of all time. He's very good. This show is really good. Really good. Cliffhanger too. Can't wait to see. I think it's the final season. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Great show, Barry. Go watch that one. It's a binge. Foxtel again. Fantastic. Highly, highly recommend it. Number 4, we have The Boys Season 3. What is there to say that hasn't been said about the show? This show is really good. Each season gets better and better and better. Even though people say it gets worse because it gets more political, it's always been fucking political. That's the point of the show. It's always been political. I do not understand that argument. This show's the most political, one of the most political shows out there. You know, what if superheroes existed in real life? Of course, it's going to be political. It's all about I'm not going to get into it, but it's really good. Homelander is insane. The best character in the show by far. Anthony Starr that plays him is like, I'm pretty sure he's insane in real life as well, so it makes sense, but he's good in this show, so it's worth it. All of them are good. Butcher was really good this season. Annie, even though I know a lot of people don't like Annie, Starlight. We had Jared Padalecki as Soldier Boy. Everyone is really, really good on the show. The social commentary was better than ever, you know, the Capitol riots, and then Homelander, the whole spin on what if the thing Donald Trump said, I could go into, on whatever, 5th Street and shoot someone and no one would care, and that's what Homelander did. Spoiler alert, kind of. And they played on that, and what happens, and the result of that will happen next season, I guess, but my guess is it's only going to make his ego bigger and his popularity bigger as well. I can't wait for this next season, which is filming now, I think. Love this show. It's really good. Check it out. Amazon Prime. The Boys. Very good. Number 3, we have the Game of Thrones spin-off, House of the Dragon. Now, I only finished and watched Game of Thrones this year. I had always heard about it, obviously, just never really grabbed me. And I watched it. Boy, was I wrong. It's so good. Obviously, the season 8 isn't that good. It's pretty bad. But the rest of it is really good. Season 1 is really good. And then this show comes out. I was like, how can they make another good season 1, you know? They did. This show is so good. The family dynamics. It's kind of like watching a reality show every week of just the Targaryens and what's going to happen. The political chess that goes on, the writing, all the characters are good. It's sensational, you know. I remember there was a conversation a while back. Weekly TV's dead. It's not dead. The conversation on the show every week was always trending number 1 on Twitter. It was the most popular show every week, without a doubt. Even though Lord of the Rings, Power of the Rings, got more views. Doesn't matter. This show was definitely more in the zeitgeist. People were talking about it. Water cooler talk, Everyone was talking about it every week at work and stuff. It's great. Everyone's really good. You got Rhaenyra, which is she's fantastic. All of the characters are good. Matt Smith obviously does it good. It's just, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a great show. What else I got here? Characters good. Political chess. Game of Thrones lives on, I guess. Everyone thought it was dead. It was the biggest show in the world, and then just like that, one bad episode, it was vanished. No one was talking about it. But here it is. This is proof that Game of Thrones is a big franchise, and even though the last season was bad, doesn't mean anything. This show is back and bigger than ever. Bring on season 2. Let's go. House of the Dragon, House of the Dragon for life. Let's go. Number 2, we have Atlanta, which, unlike any other show in this list, it had 2 seasons this year. It had its final 2. This is the season 3 poster, but it had season 3 and 4 air in the 1 year, and that's it. There's no more Atlanta, as far as we know. That was the final seasons. This show is so good. Again, this is kind of, for me, it's like with Stranger Things. I just remember watching it when I was in high school, and it just had such a big impact on me. It really did, because it was like, there was nothing really like it. It was kind of like this really surreal show. It was weird things happening, but it was really political and really topical, and really funny as well. Donald Glover, he just does a great job. I just remember watching it thinking, wow, there's nothing else like this, and talking to my friends at school, and if you were in the kind of rap hip-hop culture, and you were like, it was just a good conversation to have with people about the show. And season 3 and 4, they're both, I don't know if I prefer season 3. They were both really good, but season 3 kind of steered away from the normal Atlanta. It was still Atlanta, but it was just in a different country. It was in Germany. I still loved it, and I really liked the kind of anthology episodes that weren't centered around the main 4. It was centered around just random people. They were really good. I thought they were really excellent, and really good commentary, in the world, race and everything. Most of the show is about race, but there's other topics that they go into. And then season 4 had them back in Atlanta, and it was all mainly the main gang. Said there was one anthology episode, which that is an incredible episode. It's called the goof that sat on the, something like that. The goof. It was about basically. I'll explain it quickly. It's like, people say the Goofy movie is about the black experience and how life as a black person, and they made this whole fake documentary about how the director wanted it to be like that, which isn't true. But if you watch it, I thought it was true. I thought it was a real story. It's not, but it's made like that, and it's really good. The final episode was great. All the 4 characters are really good. I think my favourite, though, might be Paperboy. I think his story is really kind of tragic in a way, about his fall from grace. Or not his... He thought he had it all, but he really didn't. And I just think this show will go down as one of the best modern-day shows of the 21st century, but of all time. I think it is. There's really nothing like it, and you can't really do anything. If another show is made similar to this, it will be too similar to this, or it won't be anywhere near as good as it. And you just can't replicate it, in my opinion. I think it's the best, except for my number 1, which is coming up. Here we go. We got number 1, Better Call Saul. Number 1 is actually, there's 2. I've got equal first. The other one will be shown after this, but I thought I'd do Better Call Saul first. This show is incredible. How can Breaking Bad? A lot of people say it's the best show ever. It is. It is the best show ever. But then there's Better Call Saul, which is even better. How can you make? It's incredible to me, the legacy that this show has. Like, Breaking Bad is still popular today. I see memes all the time on TikTok and Twitter and Facebook. It is still as popular as ever. How can you make a show that is, take a popular character from a show and make it better? I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know how you can do it twice, but he has. Vince Gilligan is a genius. But this show is absolutely incredible. It capped off everything. Like even it capped off some of Breaking Bad that was left unanswered. It's so good. Saul will probably go down as maybe top 3 characters of all time. And then, yeah, he's just the best. But this show, I think, also has maybe the best side character like selection. Every character, Ray Seahorn, who plays Kim Wexler, is the best. She is the best. It may be the best character in the show. I know I said that, Jimmy. It's complicated, but she is incredible. And everyone's like, what's happening to Kim? What happens to Kim? Because she's not in Breaking Bad. Watch the show, you'll see. It's incredible. You got Nacho. You've got Mike, who is in Breaking Bad, obviously. Mike is incredible. He's really good. How can he get any better? I don't know, but he did. Then you've got even Gustavo Fringer's in this show. And then you've got maybe the best villain of all time, Lalo Salamanca. He is insane. When he pops up at the end of season 4, I was like, he's only in season 5 and 6 really, but he's made such an impact on the show. Like when you think of this Better Call Saul, you think of him. He is so good, so funny, so menacing. He pops up and there's a scene in season 6 he pops up and it's just that you see the fear in the character's eyes and you believe it because he is a menacing guy. I think this show is incredible. It's the GOAT. It's done the unthinkable, really. It's done, like I said, it's done the unthinkable. It's made a sequel show with a character that you thought was a one-dimensional kind of sleazebag lawyer. Nah, he's so much more than that. And then you got even the previous seasons, I won't talk about them here, but they're incredible as well. This whole show as a package is incredible. I remember where I was sitting watching this finale. Absolutely incredible. I can't believe it's over. The Breaking Bad universe is it's incredible. This show, I gotta stop. The video's getting long. This is great. Alright, now on to my equal first pick. And number 1, equal first for Better Call Saul is The Rehearsal. This show is absolutely game-changing. It's life-changing. There's nothing like it. Bit of backstory. Nathan Fielder, he made this show, and he also made a show called Nathan For You, which is pretty much my favourite show of all time. It is just so funny and just understands comedy and, well, at least my type of comedy and humour in such a way. I've never laughed at a show harder than Nathan For You. Basic premise is Nathan, he helps out small businesses. He's got a business major. He helps out small businesses with different ideas. But it's more than that. It's about the human condition and what humans are like. And even he's got a little arc in there. It's kind of reality. It's like a reality show. Watch it. You will not regret it. It is so funny. But that show ended in 2017 with maybe one of the best finales I've ever seen, Finding Francis. Of all time, that finale was great. But that show ended 5 years ago, and then I hear this year, earlier in the year, Nathan Fielder's got 2 new projects coming, and another one's still coming, which will be good, I know, fantastic. But this one was with HBO, and then the trailer came out, and then the show came out, and it's about he helped. Why leave life to a chance? That's a great little tagline because he basically offers this opportunity to people to rehearse either things that they're not sure about or things they've been putting off in life, and he helps them rehearse it down to every possible idea, every possible line, everything that could happen. He rehearses it, and the first episode is this guy has been lying about his college education. He says he's got a master's, but he doesn't, and he doesn't know how to tell one certain person in his trivia group because he thinks that she'll kill him by the sounds of it, and he doesn't know what to do, so he hires Nathan. And then you think that first episode, you think that is going to be the whole show. Every episode is a different thing, and then episode 2 comes along, and it's this person who wants to know what it's like to raise a kid, but she doesn't want to have one and then regret it. So Nathan does a little simulation where over a couple months she'll get the different lifestyles of the baby, or different ages of the baby. The baby grows up I think that's 3 years in a week or something, and he switches out these kids, but it goes into something so much more than that. Nathan he's a genius. He really is a genius. He might be the best, most smartest person in comedy. There's no one like him. He figured out that he always said, I read interviews, things, he wanted to be funny, but he figured out that he's got this deadpan personality. He's like, well, that can be funny, and he goes with it. And his mind, he's just incredible. He's an incredible person, and the rehearsal is, equal first. I couldn't decide, so I had to put them equal first. So I guess I have seen 30 shows this year. 2 of them were equal first, but I couldn't decide between the 2. But this show, it really is. There's nothing like it, and there won't be anything like it unless he comes out with another idea, which he probably will, because again, he's a genius. This is the best show. Watch this. Watch all of them, really, if you want to. Watch all of them. All 30 I've named. But if you have to watch 2, watch Better Call Saul and The Rehearsal. They're the best. Alright, I guess that ends my video. It's going to be long. Most of these reviews, this one's almost 4 minutes long. But if you stuck all the way, I don't think anyone would have. But thanks. I just I love talking about TV and kind of wanted to put my mind and just talk about it to anyone, really. So I hope if you take anything away, that's all I want to do. Just for anyone watch the show, leave in the comments what you've watched and what you've liked, and what I haven't watched. Maybe name something that I've missed, and I'll watch it. But thanks everyone for the first video on this channel, first annual video as well. Thank you. Thanks for watching.